Indescribable, 1981. I know a lot of people are not really into astrology like that or the zodiac, but we know that there's a lot of astrology and zodiac things in the Bible when it comes to certain symbols and animals and things like that, and you know, symbolisms and archetypes. But just to give you a little bit about myself, I know when I looked into my natal chart, you are not just your one sign. You are all signs and all planets. Because astrology has to do with the body. That's why certain zodiac signs, a lot of zodiac signs deal with the body parts. Including Libra, even though they have the scales. Yet I realized that people usually tend to go into the tarot or astrology or zodiac to pinpoint things in their life when you're actually the creator of your own life. You know, the zodiac is just to let you know what's here, what's in your surroundings, the star systems you came from based on the influences and how things played out. And they were able to calculate it from that. You know, because before you even speak on something or think something, a feeling arises up in you first. Just like when a person is joyful out of nowhere for no reason, it's just a feeling of joy rose up in them out of nowhere. And you just see them act out or scream or, you know, Geronimo, yeah, I feel good today. I don't know for what reason. That was a feeling that welled up first from the spiritual realm, joy, out of nowhere. So I'm getting into these zodiac signs because I'm a North Node in Cancer, meaning that the South Node is in Capricorn. These North Node and South Node, I know that has to deal with the moon from what I've learned. And it deals with like your past life situation where you did a lot of things in your past life that probably played out the way it was supposed to. And then now you got the North Node, which is you're headed north, you're headed forward. You're rising up from your past or your roots from where you started at to the opposite sign. So I have a Capricorn South Node and I have a Cancer North Node. And my Cancer North Node is in the 11th house, Aquarius. Basically, according to the astrological natal chart, the South Node is what I did in my past life. It's Capricorn South Node. Talking about not the sun sign, we're talking about your mission of your soul being here right now. I notice in my chart, there's a lot of water signs in my chart, and there's a lot of Scorpio signs. Water signs, and there's a lot of air signs. So I have like 4 different placements in my natal chart with air signs, and then I got 4 different places in my natal chart with water signs. So there's an equal balance of air and water. An equal balance of air and water is what Aquarius is all about. See, Aquarius is the water bearer, but it's still an air sign. So it's more like spraying water or spraying it like an airy mist, which is Aquarius and Pisces mixed together. And then you have like, I have a Libra sun, Scorpio moon. So that's I got 4 Libra placements, that's air. And then I got 4 Scorpio placements, that's moon. But then my North Node in Cancer is, North Node of the moon in Cancer is, you know, the extra water that's found in my chart, my natal chart, to actually show in my natal chart that the most dominant element in my natal chart is water. So I came back into this life to deal with my emotional intelligence. Deal with emotional intelligence and emotional balance. You feel what I'm saying? So not only do I deal with a lot of thoughts and think a lot as an air sign, but with water in my natal chart, I also feel a lot and have a lot of wide range of emotions. So I came back into this life almost as if I was prepared through my natal chart for the Aquarian age, because I have half air in my chart, half water. And that's what the zodiac sign of Aquarius is in the age of Aquarius. You know, it's half water and it's half air. So water bearer, or like mist bearer, the one who bears water and air together, that's like a mist. You know what I mean? But I'm saying all that to say this. As a Cancer North Node, I came back in this lifetime to focus on emotional health and emotional resilience, emotional intelligence. You know, past life, I was focused on structure, building family, uh, building businesses, you know, working upon contracts and negotiations, and just trying to get money and establish myself in all type of aspects as far as my material life and my personal situation is concerned. Now, this lifetime, I have a Cancer North Node, meaning that it's not meant for me to focus on business and structures and trying to build and stuff, the outside physical world. Now, as a Cancer North Node in my natal chart, I'm actually here to focus on emotional stability now, emotional strength, emotional intelligence. So if something bothers me about money, bills, food, shelter, clothing, that's an automatic need in life of certain things that we need personally. Not wants and desires, but things that we need: food, shelter, and clothing. And if I'm worried about food, shelter, and clothing to the point where I go out and try to struggle to get it, I'm focusing on my South Node, past life things that I've already done. And when you get more and more into what you're supposed to be doing in this life, since you did all these things in your last life, now it's just meant for you to focus on what your North Node tells you, giving you an idea in your natal chart. So since I didn't, you know what I mean? So worrying about how, clothing, food, shelter, and clothing, I'll go rush out to go get it and try to make this money and this and that. I'm doing too much. That's why when you follow your soul mission, you don't have no struggles no more. You actually start to see stuff open up. And that kind of influenced me a little bit as far as me doing these YouTube video channels. I put a lot of emotion, a lot of wildness, a lot of rough edgedness, a lot of tough love, and a lot of compassion, and a lot of heartfelt messages into this YouTube channel, into these videos. And I command that I always be receptive to Holy Spirit to be able to flow and give out these messages the proper way, the right way. They may not be perfect, but at least they'll be received, for the intentions they're supposed to be received for. Because everybody helping everybody else to help somebody else, whether it be in the spiritual realm or the physical realm. You know what I mean? So when it comes to the North Node, I realized that in this lifetime, instead of worrying about food, shelter, and clothing and trying to go rush out and get it, now in this lifetime, I'm supposed to turn away from the food, clothing, and shelter and focus on my emotional health. Not being depressed because I'm stressing out to get food, shelter, and clothing. Not being angry or filled with rage as I go out and try to manifest food, shelter, and clothing. Not trying to physically go out and beat the system and beat everybody to the punch of trying to build businesses and structure, but turning to my emotional needs within, making sure that while things are getting taken care of in life, how you feeling? How I'm vibrating. Am I working on my depression? Am I working on anger? Am I working on creating stress or relieving stress in this lifetime? We can take our emotions out of business transactions all we want. Yet, at the end of the day, there are a lot of business people may be successful in business and they have to cut their emotions out. Could be a landlord kicking out a tenant. They had to cut their emotions out. But now in this lifetime, I'm that landlord that's not focused on business. I'm actually focused on people and their heart conditions. And if I can help them emotionally and perhaps financially, if I were to be a landlord with a Cancer North node, I'm not focused on the business aspect, trying to take the emotions out. Now I'm focused on the emotional aspect of my life connected to the soul so that I can help others who are going through these situations. You'll be surprised how many people out here actually are rich and billionaires and they still need counseling. They still need a mentor. They still need a psychiatrist, someone to keep them on track mentally and emotionally, because just because there are millionaires on this earth and there's a lot of rich people don't mean that a lot of these rich people have good mental health. I mean, it's amazing how it's true. A lot of the singers and rappers that we know, even like Jimi Hendrix, a lot of the old ones, we don't judge. Bob Marley, all of them. These people made good music either when they were drinking or they were on pills or the all-natural herb, which is not a drug, marijuana. People were able to create music and bring a lot of things into existence from this higher spiritual vibrational type of plant. Because it take you away from yourself and overthinking too much, and then you just get in the flow of Holy Spirit and start doing music. You start just doing things and you realize life is not something to be overthought or overthinking about. It's just something to be expressed and acted upon. You know what I mean? So in this lifetime, you know, I have to allow myself space within my heart to make room for me to be more compassionate, be more loving, and be more merciful when it comes to the totality of the whole entire planet Earth and all of us that live on this earth. It's not so much worrying about building and having this and having that. It's much more so about connecting to my emotional level this lifetime and the soul level. And how much more so we're in a time right now where to live out of the heart, out of the emotion and feeling, is to connect with the Creator, because feeling came first within the darkness. And then, you know, we got the light, and then all of that came after the fact. But feelings usually surface up first. That's why they say a person feels some type of way. When a person feels some type of way and they get to moving funny, then they express once the feeling done came to a climax and they want to say something about it. And in this lifetime, that's what I'm here to do. Because I realize we are very hard on ourselves when we trying to do our best. And in this lifetime, I don't have to be hard on myself to do my best. In this lifetime, it's just meant for me to nurture myself, speak kindly to myself, you know, tell myself I love myself, you know, hug myself. Because when a person is in tune with their own emotions and then they know how to nurture themselves, that'll play out into everything else in my life, where if I'm going through something and I can't see what somebody else can see, I usually get comfort out the blue from strangers. I usually get a little compassion out of the blue from even animals or certain butterflies or lizards, squirrels. Certain animals used to come to me and, you know, take care of me during my emotional needs. That's why, you know, I speak about nature so much and getting outside of nature, because I had a lot of help through my depression and my emotional resilience and my emotional health this lifetime, and my emotional intelligence this lifetime, sitting out in nature at local parks, at the beach, near a lake or a canal or a pond, seeing animals play, seeing birds show each other affection and stuff when they're building their nests, seeing squirrels even show each other affection, laying on each other, playing, you know, cats, you know, just looking at nature and seeing a lot of animals like moving around, nurturing, playing. You know what I mean? Everything in nature has like an naturally built in sense of nurture, which is why even though some animals out here are wild and they will attack you because you're in their habitat or you're in their forest or you're in their territory, these same animals, when they have their babies, they're not so wild because you see them licking their babies and nurturing their babies. Compassionate, motherly nature built into the animals to lick their children and clean them and tend to them when they cry or scream or whatever. But let somebody come next to them and let it be a threat, they gon' huh, I think you better get up out of there, because any animal or any woman or man that has a child, but mother period, that has a child and she love her child, she gonna be super overprotective, and she might even take you out for trying to harm her child. So I didn't mean for this video to be this long, but as far as the natal chart, a Cancer North Node in this lifetime means that I have to focus on emotional things, nurture, privacy, family, having a caring and compassionate attitude, not only towards myself, but towards the collective. So it's almost like when you nurture self, that radiates into self-nurture unfolding into all of your surroundings and throughout everything in your life, because you're radiating with self-nurture. Now self-nurture is going to radiate and others will be able to nurture themselves and be easy on themselves. You know, before I finish the video, when you think about self-nurture in a harsh way, you would probably say stuff like this. Jermaine, indescribable 1981. Don't be a dumbass. Man, do this shit the way you know to do it. Come on, man. Don't be stupid. Get your motherfucking mind right. That's a harsh form of nurture. Tough love. But when you really want to go about it in a nurturing way, it will look something like this. Jermaine, indescribable 1981. Be easy on yourself. You know you love yourself. You know you are precious. Jim, you know that you're a precious child of the Most High's. Be easy on yourself. Everything is all good. You know you love yourself dearly. And the same way you love yourself, Jermaine, that's the same way things, people, and places love you when they come into your life. The self-nurture and the self-love you have for yourself, being easy on yourself, it's going to translate to other people in your life being inspired by you to do the same thing to their self. And then when they see you, they're also going to reflect back the self-nurture to you that you've been bringing all along into existence through your own self. So when you nurture yourself and you know how to be easy on yourself, anyone else in life going through something where they're hard on themselves or they don't believe in themselves, especially the belief that nurturing themselves and speaking kindly to themselves can help them out more than somebody jumping down their throat being harsh to them. It'll be a difference between like a drill sergeant and a compassionate counselor. If a drill sergeant give you directions or instructions, it's going to sound like harsh commands and stuff like that. But if you got a compassionate psychiatrist that's giving you instructions, they may give you a command or something like that that's more nurturing. You know, what is it that you love? What is it that you truly adore? What is it that seems so precious to you in life that you can't deal? You know what I mean? Even the roughest, toughest gangster or the roughest, toughest, most manliest man on earth knows that when you deal with a little child, a baby, or you deal with a woman, they even know you got to be in touch with your gentle side to deal with a woman or to deal with babies. Because to be harsh to a woman or a baby, that'll disturb them emotionally, and that'll run people and things out of your life because you're disturbing the innocence of life by being harsh to it. You never want to disturb the innocence of life. Like I say, even some of the roughest, toughest, most gangster men in the world, if they get the right woman in their life or they go to having children, they have a soft heart. They don't want to be gangsters no more. Now they're in touch with the emotional side of their life. And your emotional health is way more important than your physical health. Because if you're a person who talks to people with a compassionate heart and you have emotions and you care, you'll get way much better results because you put their nervous system at ease and their heart at ease because they know that you care. They know you care. They feel it. They know you radiate it. If you're harsh, mean, and you don't understand things and you just misinterpret things and you take things out of proportion and you're screaming and yelling and you're so harsh, you're going to run people away. You're going to push people away, men, women, or children. You know what I mean? You may even push a lot of blessings out of your life because you care about things and money and places. You don't care about people. But in this lifetime, I'm not supposed to care about people, places. Well, I'm not in this lifetime. I'm not supposed to care about places and things and material matter. I'm supposed to actually care about people, their emotional needs. Because even when it deals with health, when you have things that deal with health, your emotional needs have to do with a lot. I don't know. Okay. Your emotional needs have a lot to do with your health. For example, I can go to the doctor and they can prescribe me medicine and prescriptions all they want. You can still take the medicine and prescriptions and you still won't feel like you're cured or you still don't feel like you're healthy or none of that. Why? Because if you sit up here and you think that just taking medicine is going to heal you or make you healthy, that's the wrong idea. The real part of your health is not necessarily the pills or the medication. The real part of your health is really your emotional health. So let's just say you go to a doctor that really don't care about you, and you can tell it. They just there just to do the work, give the prescriptions, and get you out their face. That's more so like a Capricorn South node, where they not really there to focus on you emotionally or help you out. They're actually there to just do business, take the emotions out, get the money, and get the fuck on. You don't feel like you've been cared for. And you may not heal because even though the doctor prescribed you the meds, you don't like the way the doctor made you feel. And you may end up leaving that doctor because that don't contribute to your healing. Whereas if you have a doctor that's kind of hesitant to give you prescriptions and this and that, but they still have to give it because, they have certain things that they have to abide by. And the meds might not be that effective, but the doctor is a sweetheart. The doctor has a compassionate heart. The doctor loves people. You can tell the doctor cares about his patients. Then you're going to have a lot of patients that come and tell you, their family, friends, and relatives, to continue to go to that doctor because that doctor care about his patients. He don't just stick medicine or prescriptions down your throat. He really care about his patients. You find a doctor that really care about their patients, who barely took their meds because the doctor visit itself was so healing they didn't need to take the meds. Now you're on your Cancer North Node mission. You're tuning into the emotional health of your patients, which is the supreme part of healing because they feel good. Their emotions are at ease. Their nervous system is at ease. You put their mind and their psychology at ease as a doctor who cares. And then if they do have meds, they might only take maybe the meds maybe a few times and they don't need it no more because the doctor visit and the doctor himself and the memory of how the doctor deals with the patients shows that someone cares for them. You'll receive more results in this world when people know that you love and care for them. Shout out to Young Dolph. He loved and cared for a lot of people, especially children and men with families. And because of that, he stood for that. He stood for something. And it's a lot of people out here don't give a damn about their own family or their children. They put money over everything. Some guys out here got money and leave their baby mamas hanging, don't give them nothing. Nothing to survive off of for the child. And then when child support comes looking for them, they feel like the whole world is against them. But why play victim when the child was a victim of you being an irresponsible parent? You know the mother needs help. You're leaving her hanging. And because she don't want you, you know what I mean? That don't help things in life. This is why I tend to have a lot of friends and stuff like, and I meet a lot of people in my life because not knowing nothing about natal chart or North Node, South Node on the zodiac, once I found out my North Node and all that in Cancer, which is in the 11th house, I started to realize, shoot, there's a lot of people in this lifetime need nurture, need healing, need emotional care. It's a lot of people that's not in tune with their emotional intelligence. When you're in tune with your emotional intelligence, it's a lot of things you can overlook, and it's a lot of things you can see through, especially dealing with people's emotions. Because you got a lot of people in this world, they're so sensitive. I mean, they'll get upset just because you said something about, maybe something on their shoes or a spot on their shirts. Take it out of proportion. It's also funny to speak about these emotions because even NBA Youngboy, the little young rap artist everybody knows, NBA Youngboy, even when he started out with his music, even now today, I hear people say, man, you know what? He cried too much. He whined too much. He always getting emotional in his songs. But because of his crying and whining and him expressing his emotions, look what happened. He sold the most albums. You know what I mean? To be a young artist, he's driven. The emotional turmoil and pain he went through and all the harsh things he went through in life, he's working through it and maturing right now. Everybody ain't got to be bad or stay wicked or negative forever. People do eventually change because you get tired of some shit. So for NBA Youngboy to be one of those young rappers that got a lot of influence, crying and screaming, all emotional, raised by his mother, that's kind of in line with my life, what I'm saying, as far as a Cancer North Node in the zodiac chart. So I come in this lifetime to be able to deal with emotional intelligence as far as, the way I think and how I feel. And as a Cancer North Node, it's important to express how you feel. Expressing how you feel don't mean you're a weak person. Expressing how you feel is just another way of saying, hey, my stomach hurt, I got to burp and I got to fart. Just because you burp and fart don't mean you're a nasty motherfucker. It just means you in tune with your bodily functions and you need to express some of that so your body can function straight. You know what I mean? Same thing with being a Cancer North Node. Just because a man expresses emotions, things that's bothering him don't mean he's a pussy ass nigga or don't mean he's a fun boy or he's a faggot or he's a weak ass man. He's just a man that's in tune with his sensitivity to the point where when he speaks on it, he feels better, he relieves himself, and he expressed what needed to be burped out or farted out. All right? Cancer North Node, once again, I love y'all. Love yourself, have compassion for yourself, and don't be hard on yourself. Don't be hard on yourself. You hear me? Because if you don't love yourself, then I love you more than you love yourself. Because I see myself in others. This is why some of us are brought here on this earth, and it's our sole mission to help others. So if you've been through life and you have emotional issues and you don't know how to get over things, or you got like crybaby syndromes and stuff like that, it's good to read up on these things and know about yourself. That's why people usually be confused when they deal with me. You have a person that's really balanced, you can't tell if they're a man or a woman. You got a lot of men out here, they got crybaby syndrome, big babies. You think they're on their period. Un ángel está mirándote, cabrón, trabaja. So when you have people out here going through issues and stuff like that, we can make fun of people and do things like that, but that's not healing nobody. That's why anytime I go through situations in my life and it's an emotional issue, which I know people be tripping when it comes to emotional things in their life that's happening, these are usually situations where A person that has a gun or a person who has issues in their life and they got a lot of guns, it's not good to get on this person's bad side and when they're an emotional person, because a person that's emotional, that's erratic, they'll shoot and kill you faster than anyone who can think and have a rational mind and know, okay, let me hold off from this because this ain't wise to do right now. But when you're a person who gets in tune with your emotions and you know how to nurture yourself, even the person with the harshest background, growing up with the hardest childhood, can come into your presence and instantly be healed and know that it's possible to be healed from these things. Because a lifetime full of hell and growing and evolving with yourself into a person that's full of nurture, compassion, and a safe place for people, that's a powerful thing to have to go through. That's why a lot of people can't walk in a lot of our shoes. We have to focus on our own self. What we come into this life to really work on in our soul path. We may have ideas, we may be able to read up on it, we may be able to have dreams and just be in tune with it, or just pick up on our soul path through things and situations we've been doing in our life that help others that we probably never even recognized or paid attention to. So once again, I love y'all. I value y'all comments and stuff, good and bad. And I just ask that y'all have a healthy emotional lifestyle when it comes to dealing with yourself. Because the world is full of emotions out here, mixed emotions. That's why everything is all chaotic and over the place. When we all can get back to self and bring in that emotion of the Holy Spirit of joy and peace and like enthusiasm and just a totality of compassion and love, then you won't see no hate, no pain, no sorrow. All of that be things of the past and low vibrational worlds. That's why it's the old earth and we got new earths and new heavens. So I love y'all. Y'all be good. Enjoy the rest of y'all day.